Let me tell you something. You'll never walk into greatness until you learn to walk with gratitude. You want to be great? You want to succeed? You want to break through limits and rise above? Then start with one thing, gratitude, because gratitude will take you places complaining never could. You see, gratitude shifts your focus, your energy, and your entire destiny. Some of you are waiting for everything to go right before you're thankful. No, gratitude is not about what you have. It's about what you do with what you have. It's about seeing your struggle and still saying a thank you. It's about waking up broke, tired, behind in life, and still getting up with a heart full of fight. Greatness doesn't start with money. It doesn't start with talent. It starts with gratitude. You get that right, and you unlock a power that no obstacle, no hater, no failure can stop. Gratitude shifts your perspective from problems to possibility. It's not just a nice thing. It's not just something we post on social media when life feels good. Gratitude is a mindset. It's a daily decision. It's the lens through which you see the world, and that lens will either keep you stuck in your current pain or launch you into your future power. You don't need everything to be perfect to start seeing progress. You just need to change your view. See, the problem with most people is not their situation. It's how they see their situation. It's not the hardship. It's not the delay. It's not even the betrayal. It's their reaction to it. And the wrong reaction is often complaining, feeling like life owes you something, or constantly replaying what's wrong instead of focusing on what's right. That mindset is toxic. It poisons your progress. It clouds your creativity. It makes you forget how powerful you are. But gratitude, real, raw, radical gratitude, that's a game changer. When you choose to see the good, even in the middle of bad, you start to see a whole new reality. You start to see options you missed before. You find lessons in the pain. You find strength you didn't know you had. You begin to realize, wait a minute, I'm not stuck. I'm learning. I'm being sharpened. I'm being shaped for something greater. Gratitude does not mean you ignore the struggle. It means you recognize that the struggle is working for you, not against you. It means you acknowledge that even in the fire, you are being refined. Even in the dark, you are being developed. And when you operate in that mindset, your energy changes, your emotions change, your execution changes. People think success is about having all the resources, all the support, all the breaks. But the real winners, the real legends, they didn't get there because life gave them more. They got there because they learned to appreciate what they had, no matter how small, and they worked it. They squeezed the juice out of every lemon life gave them. They turned pain into power. They turned trials into training. That's what gratitude does. It gives you access to strength that most people never tap into because they're too focused on what's missing. I remember a time when I had nothing, and I mean nothing. I was sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash cans. People saw a homeless man. But you know what I saw? Opportunity. Every single day I was alive. I was grateful. I was grateful for another shot. I was grateful for the air in my lungs, for a mind that still worked, for the chance to speak life into myself when nobody else would. And that gratitude didn't take away the pain, but it gave me the power to rise through it. When you stop fixating on what you lack and start appreciating what you still have, unlock possibility. You stop looking at doors that are closed and start noticing the windows that are cracked open. You stop asking, why me? And you start asking, what can I do with this? That question changes everything because now you're no longer a victim. You're a visionary. You're not waiting on permission. You're taking initiative. Listen, every problem comes with a hidden opportunity, but you'll never see it if all you do is complain. You'll never grab hold of it if all you do is wish your situation was different. Gratitude makes you resourceful. It makes you innovative. It puts your mind in motion and your spirit in alignment. And when your spirit is aligned with growth, with purpose, with greatness, no problem can stop you. You might bend, but you won't break. You might cry, but you won't quit. Gratitude is not weakness, it's not passive. It's power, it's strength under control. It's the mindset of a warrior who chooses to find meaning in the mess. The world tells you to be frustrated, to be angry, to blame. But I'm telling you, greatness doesn't live there. Greatness lives in the grateful heart. The grateful heart doesn't ignore reality. It redefines it. It says and over. This is the beginning. Do you know what separates the good from the greats? It's not just talent. It's not just discipline. It's vision, and gratitude is what clears your vision. When you're grateful, you stop being blind to the blessings in front of you. You see relationships you see moments that teach. You see how far you've come, not just how far you have to go. That perspective builds momentum. That momentum builds confidence. That confidence fuels action. I'm not saying you have to love the pain, but you can learn from it. I'm not saying you have to be happy about the loss, but you can honor it by growing from it. You see, gratitude doesn't make the journey easier, but it makes you stronger. It builds emotional endurance. It gives you peace in chaos. It helps you hold on when life tries to knock you out. So the next time life hits, and it will, because storms are part of the process, stop, breathe, and give thanks. Not for the pain, but for the power it's unlocking in you. Not for the fall, but for the bounce back that's coming. Be grateful that you're still here. That means your story isn't over. That means there's still purpose in your path. Gratitude doesn't mean settling. It doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you strive from a place of strength, not lack. It means you grind with peace, not panic. It means you hustle with hope, not fear. It means you can celebrate progress while still reaching for more. So many people are missing out on joy because they're chasing what they don't have instead of using what they do. You don't need to be rich to be grateful, but I promise you, if you're grateful, you're already rich. Rich in perspective, rich in wisdom, rich in strength. And that kind of wealth, that's the foundation of all lasting success. You want to be great? Then stop focusing on the mountain and start thanking God you've got the legs to climb it. Stop complaining about the rain and be thankful you got the strength to dance in it. Greatness is not just about what you achieve. It's about who you become. And gratitude is what shapes you into someone worthy of the next level. It's easy to be grateful when everything is good. But true greatness is forged when you can be grateful in the dark. When you can say thank you before the blessing arrives. When you can smile before the breakthrough. That's faith. That's power. That's the mindset of champions. So today, don't wait for more to be grateful, and you'll create more. Be grateful and you'll become more. Gratitude is the gateway. Step through it and walk boldly into your greatness. You can't be bitter and blessed at the same time. These two mindsets don't live in the same heart. One will always cancel out the other. When you're bitter, you block your own blessings. When you walk around angry, resentful, and always pointing fingers at who hurt you, who left you, what went wrong. You're building a wall between yourself and the life you could be living. Bitterness doesn't just affect how you feel. It shapes how you think, how you move, how you speak, and how you show up in the world. There are people right now who have everything they need to succeed. The talent, the tools, the time, but they're still stuck. Why? Because they're holding on to bitterness like it's a trophy. They're replaying old pain like it's a highlight reel. They're so focused on the wounds of yesterday they can't walk into the opportunities of today. Bitterness turns your heart hard. It closes your eyes to blessings. It keeps you living in survival when you were built for greatness. You've got to understand that bitterness is not strength. It's not protection. It's poison. And here's the thing about poison. It doesn't just affect the person who gave it to you. It affects you the moment you choose to hold on to it. That anger, that grudge, that hurt you keep nurturing like a baby, it's robbing you. It's draining your energy. It's stealing your joy. And most of all, it's blinding you to the blessings that are right in front of you. Blessings don't always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes they come disguised as challenges. Sometimes they show up as closed doors. Sometimes they arrive in people who walk away. And it's in their leaving that you gain the space to grow. But if you're bitter, you won't see it. You'll keep asking why life is so unfair instead of asking what life is trying to teach you. See, you can't hold on to pain and peace at the same time. One has to go. You've got to make a decision. Do you want to be bitter or do you want to be blessed? Because being blessed doesn't always mean having more. It means being able to recognize and appreciate what you already have. It means waking up with a heart that says, I'm still here. I've still got breath. I've still got purpose. That's the posture of blessing. You can walk through fire and still be blessed if your heart is open. You can lose everything and still be blessed if your spirit is right. But you could also have every opportunity, every open door, and still be bitter. And I'm telling you right now, you won't keep those blessings for long. Because bitterness breeds blindness. You won't even know how to receive what God is trying to give you. You'll sabotage it with your attitude. You'll sabotage it with your attitude. You'll poison it with your perspective. And that's the danger. Bitterness doesn't just hurt you, it spreads. It affects your relationships, your dreams, your mindset. It becomes your filter. People try to love you and you don't trust them. Opportunities come your way and you don't believe you deserve them. You get a fresh start. Instead of building something new, you keep reliving what broke you. And the longer you stay bitter, the more blessings you push away without even realizing it. So how do you break free from bitterness? You choose gratitude. You choose to forgive. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. You choose to stop letting pain dictate your personality. You choose to stop letting wounds lead your walk. You start focusing on what you learned instead of what you lost. You stop saying, why did this happen to me? And you start saying, how can I grow from this? Gratitude is the antidote to bitterness. It's the healing balm for a soul that's been burned. It's the light that reveals how blessed you already are. No, that doesn't mean you forget what happened. It means you refuse to let it own you. You refuse to let it write your story. You rise anyway. You love anyway. You believe again, even after the betrayal, the failure, the heartbreak, because that's where the real blessing is. It's not in having a perfect life. It's in having a resilient spirit. It's in bouncing back after life hits hard. It's in finding joy even when the situation doesn't look joyful. And I promise you, you can't access that level of greatness while clinging to bitterness. Bitterness will always make you small. Gratitude will always make you grow. I've seen people go through hell and come out shining because they didn't let the fire make them bitter. They let it refine them. They used the pain as fuel. They learned the lesson, then they let it go. That's what you got to do. Take the lesson, leave the bitterness, count the blessing, move forward. There's too much destiny on your life to stay stuck in resentment. There's too much purpose in you to keep playing the victim. I'm not saying it wasn't real. I'm not saying it didn't hurt. But I am saying it doesn't have to define you. You got to make a shift. You got to clean your heart. You got to make space for something new to grow. Some of you have been praying for blessings, but planting bitterness. That's not going to work. You can't ask for joy while sowing seeds of anger. You can't expect peace while nurturing resentment. You got to let it go. Not for them, for you. So you can breathe again. So you can love again. So you can dream again. You want to level up? Clean your spirit. You want to attract more, be grateful for what's already there. You want to experience real blessings? Stop blocking them with bitterness. Release it. Release the offense. Release the grudge. Release the need to prove yourself. The moment you let it go, you'll feel it. The weight lift, the light return, the blessing begin to flow. I don't know who hurt you. I don't know what they took from you. But I do know this. They don't get to take your future too, unless you let them. You got the power to shift, to heal, to transform. And it starts with gratitude. It starts with saying, I choose to see the good. I choose to focus on what I've gained, not what I've lost. I choose to be better, not bitter, because that's how you win. That's how you rise. That's how you move from stuck to unstoppable. That's how you turn pain into power, wounds into wisdom, and setbacks into comebacks. You do it with gratitude every single day. So the next time that bitterness starts creeping in, pause and remind yourself, I'm too blessed to be bitter. I've come too far to turn back now. I've got too much greatness inside me to waste another second being angry about what I can't change. I may not control what happened, but I control what I do next. And I choose gratitude every time. Because the moment you choose gratitude, you open the floodgates to blessing. You step into alignment with peace, with purpose, with power. You start to feel joy again, hope again, faith again. And that's the kind of heart that attracts miracles. That's the kind of soul that shifts atmosphere. That's the kind of mindset that builds legacies. So don't let bitterness win. Don't let pain steal your power. Choose gratitude and walk boldly into the blessing that's waiting for you on the other side. Gratitude builds mental strength for the storms of life. Life is not a straight, smooth road. It's filled with curves you didn't expect, hills you didn't plan for, and storms that seem to come out of nowhere. The question isn't whether the storms will come, they will. The question is, will you have the strength to stand when they do? That strength doesn't come from pretending everything is perfect. It comes from training your mind to focus on what you can control, to see light even in the dark, to be thankful even when things aren't going your way. That's what gratitude does. It trains your mental muscles so that when life hits, you don't break. You bend, but you bounce back. Mental strength isn't built in the easy seasons. It's built when you're under pressure. It's built when you're tired, when the weight is heavy, when nothing seems to be working. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think mental toughness is about grinding hard, pushing through with sheer force. But if you're grinding without gratitude, you'll burn out. You'll resent the process. You'll lose sight of why you started. Gratitude is what keeps you grounded while you grind. It's the anchor that keeps you steady when the storm is tossing you around. When you practice gratitude daily, you're not just feeling good for a moment. You're building resilience. You're wiring your brain to search for solutions instead of drowning in problems. You're training yourself to focus on what you do have instead of obsessing over what you don't. That's a mental habit that pays off in every storm. Because when things go wrong, and they will, your default mode will be to look for the good, to find the opportunity, to see the lesson. And the person who can find meaning in the middle of the mess, that person is unshakable. Storms will test your patience, your endurance, and your faith. But gratitude gives you perspective. Instead of thinking, oh, why me? You start thinking, oh, what is this teaching me? Instead of feeling like you're cursed, you start realizing you're being conditioned. Life isn't trying to break you, it's building you. And gratitude is what allows you to see the difference. Without it, every challenge feels like an attack. With it, every challenge feels like a classroom. Think about athletes. They don't build muscle by sitting on the couch. They build it by putting stress on their bodies, by lifting weight, by enduring discomfort. Your mind is the same way. If you never go through anything, you'll never grow through anything. But here's the key. The people who grow the most from life's challenges are the ones who stay grateful through them. They understand that the pain is temporary, but the strength they gain will last forever. Gratitude also keeps your mind from being consumed by fear during the storm. Fear is loud, and when you're in the middle of a hard season, it will scream at you, telling you that you won't make it, that you're not enough, that it's over. Gratitude quiets that noise. It shifts your attention to what's still good, what's still working, and what's still possible. And once your focus changes, your faith grows. You start to believe again. You start to see hope again. You start to fight again. I've been through storms that I thought would take me out, times when I didn't know how to make it through the next day. But in those moments, I made a choice. I chose to be thankful for one thing, just one, each day. Some days it was as small as being thankful for waking up. Other days it was being thankful for the people who still believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And you know what happened? My situation didn't change overnight, but my mindset did. My mind got stronger. My heart got steadier. My spirit got louder than my fear. Gratitude is not denial. It's not pretending that the storm isn't real. It's saying, yes, I see the storm, but I also see the sun that's going to come after. It's choosing to believe that every season has an expiration date, and this one is no different. It's training yourself to focus on the possibilities instead of the problems. And that mindset is what carries you through. When you lack gratitude, every storm feels like the end. But when you have it, storms feel like part of the journey. You understand that the rain is necessary for growth. You understand that the wind is shaping you. You understand that the thunder is only temporary. Gratitude changes your relationship with difficulty. It turns it into a tool instead of a threat. It also helps you keep your emotions in check. When life gets tough, it's easy to spiral into anger, frustration, and hopelessness. But gratitude pulls you back. It reminds you of how far you've come. It reminds you that you faced storms before and survived. It reminds you that you have resources, strengths, and experiences that can carry you through again. That awareness builds mental endurance, And here's the thing. Storms don't just test your strength. They reveal it. They show you what's really inside you. Gratitude makes sure that when that moment comes, what's revealed is a mind that refuses to quit, a spirit that refuses to bow, and a heart that refuses to turn bitter. That's real mental toughness. It's not about never feeling pain. It's about never letting pain control you. Gratitude also makes you adaptable. Storms will change your plans. They'll force you to adjust. If you're bitter or fearful, you'll resist change. But if you're grateful, you'll see change as a chance to grow. You'll be willing to pivot. You'll look for new routes instead of sitting in the wreckage of the old one. That flexibility is a sign of strength. And it's the reason some people thrive after storms while others collapse. Every storm you survive with gratitude makes you stronger for the next one. You start building a mental track record. I've been through worse and I'm still here. That record becomes your proof when fear tries to talk you out of moving forward. You can say, no, I faced giants before and I didn't just survive. I grew. That kind of confidence only comes from walking through storms with a thankful heart. So when life hits you, and it will, don't just brace yourself. Anchor yourself. Anchor yourself in gratitude. Start every day naming what's still good. Keep a record of what you already overcome. Remind yourself that storms are temporary, but the strength you're building is permanent. Refuse to let your mind be consumed by what's wrong and instead train it to see what's right. Because here's the truth. The storms are not there to destroy you. They're there to develop you. They're there to prepare you for the next level of your purpose. And gratitude is the mental gym where that preparation happens. It's where you lift the heavy weight of adversity until it no longer breaks you. It's where you train your focus, discipline your emotions, and strengthen your faith. In the end, mental strength is not about avoiding storms. It's about standing strong in the middle of it. And the secret to that strength, the thing that keeps your mind from collapsing under pressure, is gratitude. Not someday, not when it's over, but right now, right in the middle of the wind and rain. Because if you can be grateful there, you can be grateful anywhere. And if you can stand there, you can stand anywhere. Gratitude turns setbacks into setup. That's not just a catchy phrase. That's a reality for those who understand the power of perspective. Life is going to knock you down. You're going to face rejection. You're going to lose things, people, opportunities you thought were permanent. But what separates those who stay down from those who rise up is mindset. And one of the most powerful mindsets you can ever develop is gratitude. Not just for the good moments, but especially for the hard ones. Especially for the moments when it feels like the world is working against you. Because sometimes what feels like a breakdown is actually a breakthrough in disguise. When you're grateful, you start to see things differently. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, how is this happening for me? That question alone shifts everything. It takes you out of victim mode and puts you in a position of power. Because now you're not just experiencing a setback. You're studying it, learning from it, growing through it. And when you grow through what you go through, you come out the same. You come out wiser. You come out stronger. You come out ready. See, a setback is only a setback if you decide to stay there. But when you add gratitude to the equation, you change the story. You flip the narrative. You realize that maybe, just maybe, this was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to develop you. That failure that crushed your ego, it humbled you and made room for new growth. That relationship that ended, it freed you from something that was blocking your potential. That job you didn't get, it made space for a better opportunity you never would have looked forward for if you stayed comfortable. But here's the problem. Most people don't pause long enough to see it, that they get so caught up in the emotion of the setback that they miss the message. That's where gratitude comes in. Gratitude creates emotional clarity. It doesn't erase the pain. It organizes it. It helps you put in context. It helps you zoom out and see that one moment doesn't define your whole life. That one loss doesn't cancel out your worth. That one delay doesn't erase your destiny. Gratitude doesn't just help you survive the setback. It turns the setback into a setup. Because once you see the lesson, once you extract the wisdom, you're not going back to the same level. You're not walking in the same way. Now you're equipped. Now you're sharper. Now you have something that can't be taught in books or videos, experience. And experience backed by gratitude becomes elevation. You don't just bounce back. You bounce forward. I've had setbacks that broke me, but in hindsight, they were the greatest gifts of my life. Doors slammed in my face that made me question everything. But it was those very closed doors that pushed me to build my own. And every time I look back, I realize if I had gotten what I wanted back then, I wouldn't have become who I needed to be now. That's what gratitude allows you to see. It shows you the bigger picture. It helps you trust the process even when you don't understand the moment. You've got to stop treating your setbacks like life's final answer. They're not. They're redirections, not rejections. And gratitude is the GPS that helps you navigate that detour. Without it, you'll stay stuck in disappointment. With it, you start discovering the hidden gems in every experience. You start finding the gold in the dirt. You start turning what was meant to bury you into the very thing that builds you. Let me say this. Being grateful during a setback doesn't mean you're happy about the pain. It means you're wise enough to know that pain has a purpose. It means you trust that even though you can't see it yet, something good can come out of this. That kind of mindset is rare. But it's also powerful because when you respond to adversity with gratitude, you become unbreakable. You become the kind of person who doesn't just go through storms, you grow through them. Think about any successful person you admire, an athlete, an entrepreneur, a leader. I guarantee you they didn't get where they are without setbacks. What made the difference? They didn't waste the pain. They turned it into power. They used the disappointment as fuel. They didn't let this no stop them. They let it sharpen them. And the ones who keep climbing are the ones who keep thanking. They understand that gratitude isn't something you reserve for when you win. It's something you carry with you when you lose. When life hits you, you got two options. React with resentment or respond with gratitude. Resentment will trap you. It will make you bitter, angry, and stuck. Gratitude will free you. It will make you open, hopeful, and hungry. Gratitude allows you to say, this hurts, but I'm learning. This stings, but I'm still standing. This isn't what I wanted, but maybe it's what I needed. You don't need the whole plan to be grateful. You don't need the full picture. You just need to trust that what's happening now is preparing you for what's next. You just need to believe that every setback contains a setup if you're willing to look deep enough. Gratitude helps you keep moving when everything in you wants to give up. It reminds you that progress is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet and internal and invisible, but it's still progress. Don't confuse the delay for denial. Just because it didn't happen yet doesn't mean it won't. But maybe the reason it's taking longer is because you're not just getting the blessing, you're becoming the person who can handle it. That kind of preparation takes time. That kind of growth takes pressure. And setbacks are often the pressure points that produce the greatest transformation. So the next time life doesn't go your way, don't automatically label it as a loss. Don't shut down. Don't give up. Pause. Reflect. How can I use this to level up? And then choose gratitude. Choose to thank life. Not because it's perfect, but because it's making you stronger. Choose to see the opportunity hiding behind the obstacle. Choose to rise when it would be easier to retreat. That's the setup. That's the moment that will define your next season. Not the setback itself, but how you respond to it. Because life is less about what happens to you and more about what you do with it. Gratitude gives you the eyes to see the value in the valley. It gives you the courage to keep climbing, even when the path doesn't make sense. It gives you the strength to keep believing when nothing around you is changing. One day, you'll look back and realize that the very thing you thought was setting you back was actually setting you up. Setting you up for greater, for wiser, for strong, for better. And when that day comes, you'll be thankful, not just for the success, but for the struggle that made you ready to receive it. Gratitude doesn't just change your attitude, it changes your altitude. It lifts you above the pain and into a place of peace, purpose, and power. So don't resent the setback. Learn from it. Be grateful for it. Because what looks like a detour right now is actually your training ground. And every step you take with a grateful heart is a step closer to greatness. Gratitude attracts opportunities and opens doors because it aligns your heart with the frequency of abundance. When you're grateful, you begin to see things differently, not through the lens of lack, but through the lens of possibility. Most people are walking around blinded by what they don't have, what's not working, and what they think they deserve. But gratitude flips that script. It shifts your mindset from entitlement to appreciation, and appreciation is a magnet for elevation. But when you walk into a room with a spirit of gratitude, people can feel it. They want to be around it. And more importantly, life responds to it. You don't need to be the smartest, the richest, or the most talented person in the room. But if you're the most grateful, you might just outlast them all. Gratitude keeps you grounded while elevating you at the same time. That's the power of it. It doesn't come from the outside. It comes from the inside. People think success opens doors. No, gratitude opens doors because people open doors. And people are drawn to those who value what they already have. You ever notice that the most successful people are usually the most thankful? That's not a coincidence. It's because they understand something most people don't. When you're grateful, you attract more to be grateful for. If you're complaining, you're pushing opportunities away. No one wants to bless somebody who's always bitter. But when you're grateful, truly grateful, you make people want to invest in you, help you, connect with you. Let me tell you something real. Life has a way of testing you. It won't always give you what you want. But if you can be thankful in the waiting, if you can be thankful in the struggle, in the quiet, in the shadows, you prove to life that you're ready for more. Gratitude is a test, a daily test. And most people are failing it because they're focused on the gaps instead of the gifts. They're focused on the obstacles instead of the opportunities. But you gotta flip that mindset. You gotta look at what you have right now. The breath in your lungs, the chance to wake up and go again, the lessons and the losses, and say thank you. When you start living that way, you move different. You stop needing external validation because you already know you're blessed. You stop chasing opportunities and start attracting them. Why? Because your energy changes, your language changes, your confidence changes. You're no longer begging life to give you more. You're showing life you're ready for more. Think about the people who changed your life. The teacher, the mentors, the leader. Were they complaining? Were they entitled? Or were they filled with gratitude for every opportunity they got, no matter how small? Greatness doesn't begin when you arrive. It begins when you appreciate where you are. That's when life said, you passed the test. Now here's more. Doors don't just open because you're talented. Doors open because your energy opens them. Gratitude creates an energy that people can't ignore. It's contagious. It's inspiring. When you're grateful, you remind people of what really matters. You bring light to a dark room. And that light is what draws opportunities your way. Let me break this down. When you show gratitude in your current job, you get noticed for promotion. When you show gratitude in your relationship, you build trust and loyalty. When you show gratitude in the grind, when nobody's watching, you build a foundation that no storm can destroy. And that's when opportunities show up. That's when doors open, because you prove that you can handle it. And don't think gratitude is passive. It's not just saying a thank you when something good happens. No, it's an active mindset. It's getting up every morning and deciding to see the blessing before the burden. It's choosing to say, I'm thankful for this challenge because it's making me stronger. It's choosing to believe that every no is just a setup for a better yes. And let me say this, gratitude isn't just spiritual, it's strategic. It changes your brain. Science shows that gratitude rewires your mind to see more positives. And when you see more positives, you take more action. You build more confidence, you attract better relationships. That's not fluff, that's fact. Gratitude also kills excuses. You stop saying, I can't, and start saying, I'm grateful I get to try. Stop saying, ooh, I don't have enough, and start saying, I'm thankful for what I have, and I'm going to make it work. Attitude will take you further than any degree, any connection, or any talent ever will. And here's the kicker. When you practice gratitude consistently, you start walking through life with a peace that people can't shake. You become a thermostat, not a thermometer. You set the tone. You carry an unshakable belief that something greater is always on the way. Not because you hope for it, but because you're grateful even before it arrives. That's faith. That's power. That's what opens doors. So wherever you are right now, stop. Take a deep breath. Look around. You're blessed. You might not have what you want, but you got what you need. And if you honor what you got, you'll attract more. Don't wait until the door opens to be grateful. Be grateful now and watch the doors start opening one by one. Because gratitude is the key that unlocks everything you're waiting for. So no matter what, stay thankful, stay humble, and stay ready. Because gratitude isn't weakness, your weapon, and it's the gateway to greatness. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a force. It's an energy that you carry into every room, every opportunity, every challenge. When you truly live in gratitude, you carry a different kind of power with you. It becomes the fuel that drives your hustle, your consistency, and your mindset. See, energy isn't just about height. It's about alignment. It's about being in tune with the truth of who you are and what you have, no matter how small, and turning that truth into action. When you're grateful, you stop wasting energy on what you can't control and start investing energy into what you can build. You stop complaining, stop comparing, and start creating. Gratitude gives you clarity, and with clarity comes focused execution. You ever see people who have everything but no drive? They got the house, the car, the job, but they're miserable. Why? Because they've lost touch with the most basic truth. Everything you have is a gift. The moment you take that for granted, your energy drops. You start waking up tired, unmotivated, distracted. You don't see the point anymore for someone else. Someone who's got less than you. Someone grinding with nothing but a dream. They wake up on fire. They see every little win as progress. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every setback is just set up for a comeback. Why? Gratitude. Gratitude changes how you see the game. And more importantly, how you play it. When you're grateful, your mind doesn't quit when things get tough. You don't stop at the first no. You don't fold under pressure. You tap into a deeper energy. An energy that says, I may not have much, but I'm gonna work with what I got. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna give 120%, not because I have to, but because I get to. That's the key. You don't have to chase greatness, you get to. You don't have to go to the gym, go to work, grind for your dream. You get to. And that shift changes everything. It moves you from obligation to opportunity, from burnout to purpose, from weakness to power. Some people walk into the room looking for reasons to quit. Grateful people walk in looking for reasons to grow. That's the difference. Gratitude raises your standard. It doesn't let you settle. When you're thankful, you don't just go through the motions. You go through the fire. You push harder, aim higher, love deeper. You don't hold grudges. You don't waste time gossiping or scrolling or doubting yourself. Your energy is clean, focused, and full of life. You become magnetic. People want to work with you, learn from you, build with you, because your energy lifts the room. And let me tell you something. Success is attracted to that kind of energy. It's not about being perfect. It's not about being the smartest in the room. It's about bringing the most authentic, powerful, grateful version of yourself to the table every day. It's about showing up even when no one's clapping for you yet, even when it's hard, even when you're tired. That's when gratitude becomes your greatest weapon, because it gives you fuel when the tank is empty. It gives you focus when your world is chaotic. And it gives you fire when everyone else has burned out. Gratitude isn't soft. It's not weak. It's not passive. It's fierce. It's a choice to rise above the noise and lock in on what matters. It's a refusal to let circumstances steal your spirit. People ask me, how do I stay motivated? Simple. Stop focusing on what's missing and start honoring what's present. You're breathing. You've got another shot. That's enough to go all in. That's enough to give this day your best. That's enough to change your life. If you choose to be grateful, the secret is in the shift. When your energy is rooted in gratitude, you don't get caught in petty things. You don't waste your life chasing validation. You build, you grow, you elevate, and that energy becomes contagious. Your gratitude inspires others. Your consistency becomes a testimony. People see how you carry yourself, how you handle fair, you speak life into hard situations, and they follow that light. That's leadership. That's greatness. Not just talent, not just grind, but a heart posture that says, I see the good. I respect the process. I honor the struggle. And I'm grateful for every step. You want better results? Raise your gratitude. You want better relationships? Walk in gratitude. You want next level execution. Be grateful for the level you're on. Don't despise small beginning. Don't mock your own journey. Don't curse your own grind, celebrate it. Show love to it. Wake up with energy that says, because you know that every day is a gift. The work may be hard, but the opportunity is priceless. So I'm telling you, don't just talk gratitude. Live it. Shape your habits. Let it drive your morning routine. Let it clean your speech. Let it align your goals. Let it fuel your grind. Because when your energy is elevated through gratitude, there's nothing you can't overcome. There's no mountain too high. No dream too big, no pain too deep. You become unshakable. And that, my friend, is the gateway to greatness. You were not built to coast. You were not built to survive. You were built to thrive. But the path to that next level is paved in appreciation. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect, to be thankful. Start being thankful, and you'll see everything shift. The moment you unlock that energy, you unlock your greatness. Because gratitude is the beginning of unstoppable execution. Gratitude is the spark. Gratitude is the power. Gratitude is the gateway to greatness. Gratitude is not just a nice feeling. It's a foundation, a root that grounds you in humility and growth. Too many people want the fruit, but they don't want to tend the roots. They want the spotlight, the applause, the elevation, but they don't understand that true elevation comes from what's happening underground when no one's watching. That's gratitude. That's gratitude. That's humility. That's growth. When you're truly grateful, you understand that you don't deserve anything. You're blessed to have everything. That mindset creates a humility that protects you from pride. And pride, let me tell you, is one of the most dangerous mindsets out there. Tells you that you earned everything on your own. Pride says, I did this, while humility says, I was helped. Pride closes doors, but gratitude and humility open them. Gratitude reminds you of the people who supported you, the moments that shaped you, and the grace that kept you going when you didn't even realize it. Some people think growth is about just pushing harder, grinding longer, and yes, the grind matters, the hustle matters. But you won't grow without gratitude, because gratitude gives you clarity. It shows you where you've come from, so you can appreciate where you're going. It shows you what's working, so you don't waste time on what isn't. Gratitude keeps your ego in check and your focus aligned. When you're grateful, you listen more. You learn more. You stay open to feedback and correction. You stay teachable. One of the biggest killers of growth is entitlement. That belief that you should be further ahead, that you deserve more. That mindset robs you of progress because you stop working with appreciation and start working with arrogance. But when you're grateful, even the small steps forward feel like big wins. And when you celebrate progress, you invite more of it. Gratitude also makes you resilient. Because when you're rooted in it, setbacks don't break you, they build you. You look at failure and say, this is part of my story, and I'm thankful for the lesson. That's not weakness, that's strength. Real growth comes when you can face the hard times, not with anger or self-pity, but with appreciation. You look back and say, a challenge made me better. That loss made me wiser. That pain made me stronger. Gratitude transforms pain into purpose. Now listen, this kind of gratitude isn't always natural. It's a joy, a daily practice. You gotta train yourself to see the good in the middle of the grind. You gotta stop and say, thank you before you say, what's next? If you can't be thankful now, you won't be thankful later. If you're not grateful for the small platform, you won't be grateful for the big one. If you can't appreciate a little influence, you'll mishandle a lot of it. I know people who have all the potential in the world, but their growth is stuck because their heart's not right. They're so focused on comparison that they can't appreciate what they've been given. Let me be real. You can't grow in someone else's lane. Gratitude keeps you focused on your own path. It reminds you that your journey is worthy of celebration. You stop chasing validation because gratitude says, what I have is valuable. Who I am is enough. Gratitude also fuels consistency. When you're grateful, you show up every day, not because you have to, but because you get to. You stop working from pressure and start working from passion. That changes everything. You're not just trying to prove something. You're trying to honor something. You're honoring the people who believed in you, the opportunities you've been given, the doors that were open for you. That kind of fuel, it doesn't run out. It's easy to grow when things are going well, but gratitude is what helps you grow in the dry seasons. It's the water that keeps your roots strong when the surface looks barren. It reminds you that something is happening beneath the surface, even when you don't see it yet. That's why some people quit too early. They don't realize that growth is still happening. But when you're grateful, you trust the process. You believe in the seed you planted. You stay faithful even when the results aren't immediate. Gratitude also builds character because it's not just about what you're getting. It's about who you're becoming. And who you become on the journey is more important than where you end up. When you stay grateful, you don't just grow in skills, you grow in integrity, patience, and purpose. You don't just build a life, you build a legacy. Let me tell you something. Every great person you admire, every leader who made an impact, every champion who left a mark, they all had gratitude in their DNA. They understood that greatness isn't built alone. That's why they stayed humble. That's why they kept growing. And that's why they stayed grounded, even when they were elevated. So if you want to be great, don't start with ambition. Start with appreciation. Don't chase the next level until you've mastered the now. Gratitude doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you strive with perspective. It means you remember that every step is a gift, every breath is a blessing, and every day is a chance to grow deeper, stronger, and better. You want to grow? Get grateful. You want to stay grounded when success comes? Get grateful. You want to keep learning, evolving, transforming? Get grateful. Because gratitude isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And when you're rooted in it, there's no limit to how high you can rise. Gratitude doesn't just change your attitude, it transforms your altitude. When you make gratitude your daily discipline, your spirit shifts, your energy changes, and your perspective moves from lack to abundance, from frustration to fulfillment. You begin to see not just what's missing in your life, but what's already working, already beautiful, already worth celebrating. Gratitude is not just a mood, it's a decision. It's not just something you feel. It's something you practice, especially when it's the hardest to do. Some people wait for the big moments to feel grateful. The promotion, the dream car, the relationship, the financial breakthrough. The real champions, real high performers, real giants in the game, they don't wait. They express gratitude in the grind. They give thanks in the trenches. They celebrate the small steps that lead to giant leaps. When you learn to be grateful for what you already have, you send a signal to the universe that you're ready for more. See, the problem is most people live in a mindset of a win. When I get the job, then I'll be grateful. When I make six figures, then I feel blessed. When I lose the weight, when I buy the house, when I drive the car. But that's a trap. Because that win never comes not the way you think it will. Though when it does, it's never enough. You reach that goal when your brain says, what's next? And suddenly the thing you prayed for becomes just another item on the checklist. But gratitude, true gratitude, breaks that cycle. It brings you back to the now. It tells your soul you have enough, you are enough. And from that place of fullness, of wholeness, you can move forward with peace, with confidence, and with power. Gratitude isn't passive. It's not weak. It's not just some soft spiritual word. It's a weapon. It's armor. It protects you from comparison. It shields you from jealousy. It builds resilience when you feel like breaking. When you're grateful, you stop looking at what they got and start appreciating what you've been given. You stop asking, oh, why me? When things go wrong and you start asking, oh, what is this teaching me? That's growth. That's maturity. That's power. You want to become unstoppable. Learn to be grateful in the storm. Anybody can praise in the sunshine, but real power is when you can praise in the rain. When life throws you curveballs and you say, I thank you for the challenge because it's making me stronger. And listen, gratitude is not denying pain. It's not pretending like everything's perfect. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship, but it does reframe it. It gives you the strength to endure. It gives you the perspective to see that even in your worst moments, there's a purpose. There's a lesson. There's growth. I've been broke. I've been tired. I've been rejected, but I stayed grateful because even in those low points, I knew I was being shaped into something greater. Gratitude is energy. When you start your day with gratitude, your whole vibe changes. Instead of waking up with dread, you wake up with direction. You begin to notice things others miss. The smile of a stranger, the warmth of the sun, the miracle of your breath. You don't take life for granted. You don't take people for granted. And because of that, people are drawn to you. Opportunities are drawn to you. Favor follows you because your energy is magnetic. Let me tell you something. When you live in gratitude, you live in alignment. You align your heart with that action. You align your mind with your mission. You align your spirit with the source of your strength. And in that alignment, you find flow. You stop forcing things. You stop stressing over what you can't control. You move with grace. You trust the process. And suddenly, doors open that you didn't even knock on. Gratitude rewires your brain. Science proves this. When you practice gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the feel-good chemicals. You literally create new neural pathways. You begin to program yourself for positivity, for possibility, for progress. You train your mind to focus on what's right instead of what's wrong. And that focus determines your future. So here's the challenge. Make gratitude your discipline. Don't just wait until Thanksgiving. Don't just say thank you when things go well. Make it daily. Make it specific. Write it down. Speak it out. Feel it deep. And not just for the big stuff, for the breath in your lung, for the people who love you, for the strength to keep going even when it's hard. You gotta be intentional. When your day starts going sideways, when the news is bad, when your plans fall apart, breathe, give thanks. Not for the pain, but for the opportunity inside the pain. Not for the loss, but for the lesson that loss brings. That's how you grow, that's how you elevate. The world is live with complaints. Social media is live with negativity. People love to point out problems, but be different. Be the one who speaks life. Be the one who radiates gratitude. Be the one who lights up a room just by being present, because your energy is contagious. And when you're grateful, your presence becomes a gift to others. You want to be great. Start by being grateful. Gratitude is the foundation of greatness. It keeps you grounded while you rise. It keeps you humble while you win. It keeps you hopeful while you wait. You can't control every circumstance, but you can control your spirit. You can choose to rise every day and say, I'm thankful for this moment. I'm thankful for this journey. I'm thankful for what I've been through and what I'm becoming. What I'm becoming. And let me remind you, gratitude is not just about what you receive, it's about what you give. When you're truly grateful, you give more, you love more, you forgive faster, you serve deeper. You pour out because you recognize how much has been poured into you. And that's the key. Gratitude unlocks generosity. Gratitude unlocks legacy. Gratitude unlocks greatness. So today I challenge you, don't just say it, live it. Let gratitude become your posture. Let it become your lens. Let it become your power. Because gratitude is not just a gateway to greatness, it is great. When it's all said and done, the truth is this: gratitude is not just a feeling. It's a way of living that transforms everything it touches. It's the silent power that can shift your mind from victimhood to victory, from frustration to fulfillment, and from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude takes the focus off what you lack and places it on what you already have. And that shift changes how you walk, how you talk, how you hustle. It changes how you see obstacles, not as barriers, but as blessings in disguise. When you live in gratitude, you stop waiting for the perfect moment, and you start recognizing that every moment is a gift. You begin to realize that greatness isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by appreciating where you are on the journey. Gratitude humbles you, but it also empowers you. It reminds you that you didn't get here alone, and that where you're going requires more grace, more growth, and more giving. So no matter what you're facing, no matter how tired, how overwhelmed, or how uncertain you feel, start with gratitude. Speak it, live it, breathe it. Let it be the foundation of your grind and the fuel for your greatness. Because the ones who rise to the top aren't just the most talented or the most skilled, they're the most grateful. Gratitude is the gateway to greatness, and if you walk through it every single day, there's no limit to how high you can climb. Gratitude is not just something you express in passing. It's a discipline, a mindset, a way of life that shapes your destiny. When you really understand the power of gratitude, you stop looking at your life through the lens of what's missing, and you start seeing the beauty in what's already present. That shift, that conscious decision to focus on what you have instead of what you lack, is what begins to unlock your true potential. It grounds you. It gives you clarity. It reminds you that even in the chaos, there is purpose. Even in the setbacks, there are seeds of success. Even in the pain, there's growth waiting to happen. Gratitude opens your eyes to the fact that every struggle is shaping you, every challenge is building you, and every blessing is preparing you for something greater. You see, greatness isn't about the spotlight. It's not about applause. It's not about how many people know your name. Greatness is about consistency, character, and commitment. And gratitude fuels all three. It keeps you humble when you're winning, and And it keeps you hopeful when you're not. It keeps your heart soft, your mind focused, and your spirit strong. It reminds you that you're not entitled. You're entrusted with gifts, opportunities, people, and moments that are meant to be honored, not taken for granted. Gratitude keeps your feet on the ground and your eyes on the vision. It allows you to work hard, not because you have to, but because you get to. And that shift in attitude, that's what separates those who just dream from those who actually rise. Gratitude teaches you to celebrate progress, not just perfection, to honor the journey, not just the destination. It helps you find peace in the process, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you're still moving, still growing, still becoming. And when you live with that kind of awareness, you begin to live differently, you speak differently, you love differently, you grind differently. Because now you're not driven by what's missing, you're empowered by what's already present. You're fueled by appreciation, you're anchored in purpose, you're grounded in grace. So as you move forward in your life, in your career, in your relationships, whatever it is you're building, don't forget to pause and give thanks. Don't forget to acknowledge how far you've come. Don't forget to honor the people, the moments, and the lessons that have brought you this far. Because when you lead with gratitude, you lead with strength. When you walk in gratitude, you walk in greatness. And when you live in gratitude, you live in a state of constant elevation. Gratitude is the gateway to greatness. And the more you practice it, the more you unlock the life you were created to live.